Hello, my name is Josh Atkinson, and you have once again stumbled upon my oil painting YouTube channel. Before I get started with today's painting, I wanted to ask everybody to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell just to help out with the algorithm. Forgive the slightly Dutch angle that this video is being shot in, technical difficulties. Anyway, it finally happened. After 23 months, just shy of 2 years of weekly posting, I finally did not have a painting for today, so I had to go into the vault and dig out something that I recorded like a year and a half ago or a year ago, something like that. I was trying to teach myself how to paint flowers with lots of petals, and so, well, that's what we got today. Red Rose, time lapse.
Okay, so here is our source image, a red rose floating in the void, where my inspiration seems to be lying out of reach. Anyway, yes, so I painted this March 2024. Um, I'm tempted to almost call this a tutorial, but I don't trust myself to not, start talking about politics or, I don't know, whatever tangent I wind up on. But as far as like actual like tutorial, like helpful, YouTube ry. I'll just take this moment to say like this is kind of how you do it. You get a thin layer of oil paint. I'm doing this in oils, obviously. And then you kind of use an old rag. Those are old boxer briefs. I washed them first, but you wipe out the light parts and then the dark parts. um, I don't. I tend to not like they're suggested, but you can see it's not. I am going a darker shadow in the dark parts, not just leaving it with the same color as the background. Um, yeah. So thank you for coming to my tutorial. The educational portion is over. Um, I don't know. Uh, yeah, it works. It's a perfectly viable system, and the secret to painting something with a lot of repetitive detail is just like sorry, but it's just patience. It's just patience. You just have to accept that this is a slow moving process, and that's never been my strong suit. But but that's kind of the only way you're going to get it if you're going for realism, which typically I am not. But I painted like legitimately like four paintings over the last 7 days, all of which just crashed and burned. And I said last week, and I've said many times before, that I tend to notice for myself that when I'm having creative block, it's because I'm not addressing something that I'm really anxious about in my life. And this week I have been kind of finding myself like like that kind of anxiety, depression feeling where you're like, why, what is nagging at me? What am I not dealing with? And I'm like, oh, right, the president wants to call all trans people terrorists legally. That's right. I'm afraid of um, extermination. So, so I don't know. Nothing I can really do about that other than boycott Disney. Wait, that's not the same thing. No, it's not. But that should be done as well. One helpful hint about painting red, I'm using just cadmium red straight out of the tube, but later on in the video, I will, when this layer is dried, I will come in and do a few highlights. I think I haven't watched this in a year and a half, but I think that's what I do. And for that, um, red is strange. You don't add white to it for the highlight, generally speaking, especially not on a matte surface like a rose petal. But So I go in with cadmium red light, which is just like the color of heat. It is just spectacular for highlights on a red flower. I'm at the halfway point through my voiceover. So they say that if you say something 3 times, then people actually hear it. So um, uh, uh, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. I am trying to hit 4,000 hours watched and 1,200 subscribers by the end of the year. 4,000 because that's the monetization requirement. So anyway, I would appreciate that. Hopefully next week I will be back to abstraction. It's just, I don't know. Comment below if you're like really good at painting at like just having an idea, like an intellectual, like a concept, and say like, okay, now I'm gonna paint that. You know, um, I'm not doing commissions because no one's paying me to do commissions right now. But I, I like just left to my own devices. If I'm not interested, the painting is not going to turn out good, and I almost kind of feel like my my arm, hand, brain, whatever, sort of like starts to sabotage things when I'm invested in it. I don't do that here. Now I'm beginning to do the cadmium red light highlights because it's dry enough to take new paint. Um, but so anyway, yeah. I do want to do. I think the issue is just that I want to do things that are hard to finish in a week, but I definitely want to keep to this schedule because the week of Halloween, just what is that, like, I don't know, 6 weeks away, I'm going to be hitting my 2 year anniversary for the channel. And I don't know, when I set up a structure and I make a commitment, I do try to honor it. But I don't know, you just kind of can't, seemingly can't force inspiration. Um, Feel free to comment below how you get through creative block. Um, I watched some video that had like this like it was like it's the three R's. I've forgotten them already. It was rant, rest, and uh like repeat or reiterate or something, but basically like do things that have worked in the past. And I'm like, well, all right, I tried all that. None of that's really getting the job done. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really I don't know. I guess in times of I've been watching some videos about how other artists worked under fascistic regimes, like World War II, Picasso in Paris and all that. Um, like, what exactly do you do when the problem is not something in your life, it's something in your society that's kind of weighing you down? And I don't know. I suspect that some version of protest painting might be the answer. I've abstracted plenty of oligarchs and politicians on this channel already. But yeah, I don't know. I tried that, it didn't work either. So wish me luck. Anyway, this is the finished painting. Here are some detail shots. It is, what is this? 6 inches by 6 inches. It's an oil painting on a canvas panel.
So then, yes, that is how I arrived at this painting of a red rose. I don't know if you can really call it a still life because I feel like a still life has to be like on a surface, like a desk or a table or something. But anyway, I'm totally pleased with how it turned out. It's got a little bit of painterly kind of, texture to it still, but it absolutely, looks like a realistic red rose on your wall. So anyway, yeah, this one was in the vault. I was trying to I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to keep going in an abstract path, and I just none of them worked for this week. I don't know. I talked about creative block last week, and it seems to be continuing. And I spent this whole summer doing these art fairs that were a waste of my time, so I did that instead of making art. Anyway, I will hopefully have a new painting next week. But I wanted to say thank you to the like 10 or so people who subscribed this week. Now that I've hit 1,000, YouTube keeps it updates it like 10 by 10, like 1,030, 1,040, 1,050. I don't know why it's not doing it. Anyway, I don't understand anything about YouTube. But if you would consider subscribing, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to hit monetization, which requires 4,000 hours watched. So if you could watch another long form video and, of course, subscribe, that would be great. Try and hit 1,200 subscribers, a stretch goal by the end of the year. Some long form videos that you could watch include last week's painting of some man on the internet that I made, abstract, or the previous week where I painted Jade Thirlwall, abstract. Her album is awesome, by the way. It came out, yeah, 2 weeks ago. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you in 7 days, and I have no idea what painting I'm going to be showing, but I don't know. Wish me luck. Okay, bye-bye.